right, everybody, welcome back. We are
Welcome.
They're good pals, ready to lock and load another podcast. We're going to be talking to our man Yemi Ogunbase. So you've heard Eric's story leading up to now. You've heard a little bit from me. I was joking earlier that the man, the myth, and the legend. One of us is a man, one's a myth, one's a legend. We're not sure who's who, but either way, we're talking to Yemi. Third person in this trio here, so pretty excited about that. Yemi, give me a snapshot of kind of I know you're from California originally, right? So like people may or may not know about this. Give me a little high speed, starting out, you grew up in California, bam, you're in Lexington, Kentucky. I know how you got here, and that's kind of a funny story. So, you know, you can give us some detail on that, but catch us up to speed, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the here and the now.
You know, I grew up in San Diego, and about 2005, 2006, we decided to move to Texas, and I lived in Texas for close to a decade, and then went back to California, and then made my way to Lexington as a result of came for a party.
Okay.
And never left.
The never-ending party.
Yes.
That's usually what happens. People come to Lexington for a party and then just like, man, it's just so good.
Just decided to, it's bourbon country and all.
It's the Lexington origin story.
Yes.
It's awesome.
But yeah, I will say the only thing I really miss about California, I miss the beach. I miss the ocean. I miss being able to go put my feet in the water on Christmas Day. So
you can technically still do that.
I mean, it's
it's not the same.
you know how it, man.
You could probably find a pond somewhere that might be frozen over.
Little creek down the way.
That's great.
But yeah, came here in 2018 actually, and it was to attend a party. At the time, my best friend in the world was working for a roofing company here in town, and they were having a large party, a big fancy shindig to celebrate a business milestone they'd hit. And she needed a +1. And I was like, well, then she said, "Ooh, if you come to the party, my boss needs some marketing help, so maybe you could sign him as a client." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm coming to the party. He's signing. He doesn't know it yet, but he is."
2 birds, 1 stone.
So go to the party and meet everybody, meet my friend. And like, we had been friends for 5 years and had never actually met. We became friends on Facebook, met in the comment section of Pastor Mark Driscoll on his Facebook fan page. For those of you who are familiar with Driscoll,
there's a whole podcast about Driscoll now too. So that's what's so funny about this.
Yeah. So we met in the comment section, became friends, and really shared a lot of things. Just very close, very, very good friends and everything. She called me on my junk when I was acting a fool sometimes, and she usually didn't act a fool, so I didn't get to call her out much, but whatever. Anyway, so I'm here. I go to this party, and I'm in the middle of, I closed the deal, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to rent an apartment here in Lexington, So I'm moving into my apartment, and I'm getting my kitchen situated, and I go into, what was going to be like my bedroom, and my friend had made my bed with some sheets, and it was just like, it was no big deal. But at the same time, it was just this super kind gesture. And you guys know how it is when you have your moment, you meet wife, you just know, you're like, man. And I just looked at her and I was like, this is the best woman I know. Wow. I want to marry her. Like, it was that. And so within 3 weeks of getting to Kentucky, I'm standing in front of her father and I'm asking his blessing to marry her. And so I married my best friend. And it was so funny because on Facebook, we actually had each other listed as brother and sister. You know, because
Wow.
so we were close like that. So then it was like
Yeah.
we had to unsibling each other on Facebook and like wait a couple weeks before like going into a relationship, because then it's just going to be like, oh, he moved to Kentucky, married
Moved
his
to Kentucky.
sister.
Oh, snap.
You know, so
Oh, snap.
but yeah, so that's
Yikes.
that is why I stayed, and I love it here.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So you obviously you're working with Clean Space on a number of different roles. That's how, I mean, we've done a few different projects over the years since I've been able to meet you. But obviously,
Yeah,
your background.
How did you learn about Clean Space?
How did you learn about Clean?
I was at Aram's house for game night, and you said, and I remember Eric was over there, and like we had talked a few times. I've been over there for game night, and you were talking about this this idea that you had or whatever. And at the time, I had some stuff going on, and everything. I thought this would be really cool, and I just kind of like, I don't know if any of you guys have like those kind of throwaway prayers where you're like, God, it'd be really cool to work on this, you know, it'd be really cool to be part of this, and then you just move on with your life.
Toss it out there.
Yeah, just toss it out there. And
Yep.
so about a year after that, Aram actually asked me about doing some stuff within sales in May of last year, 2023. And I was like, no, I got some, other things going on. And then again in August, he asked, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Well, then come to find out, I later found out Eric said, you know that it was the Lord who told me to hire you. So I'm looking at that and I was like, dude, that's a really great job reference. Like, that's a phenomenal reference. So I'm, one of the most attractive things is that I'd had a situation where I got burned as a freelancer for a lot of money, and it put us in a financial hole. And I just said, in the next thing that I do, I want to work with people of high integrity. That was like, and so within like a day of saying that out, like within, again, one of those just throwaway prayers, within a day of that, like Eric, you and Aaron made the offer to, to come on board and join the team and everything. And I'm thankful to be part of it. Like, I'm excited about the mission and what we're doing, how we're impacting people, but also just like, I like you guys, like as people, like it's good to work with you. So
yeah, we like you too, Yemi.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good guy to have around.
Appreciate that.
Got into some trouble too. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I think you referenced me as Eric's partner in crime. We definitely have a crime partnership going, I think, between the three of us at this point. So
Aaron's running a crime syndicate.
I'm running. Yeah. That's just a joke for everybody on the airwaves.
No, like anyone who knows that's not even like close to the case. So
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Not even close. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your professional background, because what you're doing here with Clean Space, you've done a number of different things, right? But heavily in marketing,
That's
copywriting, that type of thing. So, how did you get into that initially, like in your early career with the marketing? Was that something you always wanted to do? Did you have a design? Like, I'm always curious, like how people get motivated for what kind of ends up being a lot of their life moving forward. Was there something that you saw was like, oh, this is so cool, I want to do that? Like I watched the moon landing, I want to be an astronaut. Like, was there some epiphany? Was it just kind of natural? How did that come about?
So I'd been in sales my entire career. Got started in the 1900s, the late 1900s, got into sales. And that just came about on a whim. It was someone I went to high school with. He was cold calling businesses, and he was just like, dude, you should just get into sales. Like, you talk to people and they listen to you, you should just sell stuff. I'm like, okay, it sounds cool, whatever. So had a variety of sales experience. I have not sold cars. I have not sold real estate. Haven't done mortgage loans, but I've sold a lot of other things. Well, the marketing came about because I got divorced in 2013, and it's probably one of the most emotionally violent things I'd been through. And looking at it now, I can say that it was like my fault. I was not a great husband. Like if I had been her big brother, I probably would have fought me, just saying, and I can admit that. But my confidence was absolutely shattered. Like my identity of who I had been, and I could not sell anything. Like I didn't have it. And so I was drinking with a friend and we were talking about Mad Men. And he's like, dude, you should be a copywriter. And I was like Don Draper? He's like, yeah, bro, you should. Like when we work together, your emails always revive dead leads. You should be a copywriter. So thankful, Googled the copywriting and discovered, the late Gary Halbert. And Gary has been a big inspiration into just how I approach copy and everything. And then he said, Gary Halbert had a 30-day program. He said that would turn you into a copywriter that was better than like 70-80% of the people that were out there. Read these books, copy these sales letters by hand every day, and you should be good. Well, I realized that I had been responding to positive copywriting for years. Like Frank Kern, for years, I was on Frank Kern's email list and enjoyed every second. It was just a dude who was like, hey, I'm talking about this. I'm getting ready to go surfing or whatever. Like it was just Frank's email popped up. You opened it. You wanted to read it. What was he going to talk about next? And so got into copywriting and everything and really just, followed what Gary said and just started doing it. Like got into that, and copywriting allowed me to be able to afford the therapy to work through the issues so that I could start selling again, because I could sell copy jobs and everything, no problem, like sell my services. But in terms of being consistent in sales and everything like that, I just didn't have the fire, didn't have the mojo. So
that's a really interesting development cycle there.
Yeah.
Because you normally don't hear about people that are, that have done sales, that have done well, that have bottoms out and then come back. Like that's quite a cycle that you experienced on that front. And it's really interesting.
What is like one thing that you've learned from bottoming out?
Truth be told, I got married when I was 20. I just wasn't emotionally ready for it. My dad had died when I was 11, and there were just a lot of issues that I hadn't worked through and just really shouldn't have been a husband, definitely should not have been a father. Just made a lot of mistakes in, acting through pain, being self-centered. And I think that bottoming out really just, it helped me look around and say, Yemi, is this what you want? Like, do you still want to be dealing with this, like on your deathbed? Do you still want to be feeling this way? Do you still want to be dealing with this stuff? Do you still want to hold this anger that you carried, from childhood and everything? Do you want to have this way of relating to people that you do? Do you like this person who you are right now? So
Thanks.
a lot of self-reflection and everything. And that's some of the hardest work that you'll do. Like, and a lot of it has, like, a lot of times you can't control what happens to you when you're a child, but when you become an adult, like, you're responsible for what you do, the choices that you make. And a lot of times you don't think that this one decision can completely alter the course of your life.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, one of my favorite movies is the movie Vanilla Sky. And Tom Cruise. I think it's his best film. His absolute best picture. Like, Mission Impossible is cool. Top Gun is cool. He's done some other stuff, but Vanilla Sky, I feel like, is his best work. And I know I'm not going to spoil it for the people who are watching this, because that's just, I don't spoil movies, but
didn't it come out like 20-something years ago?
It came out, it's like, 2002, I think, 2001.
You haven't seen it yet. Gosh. Yeah. Like,
and so it's just one of those, like, I don't know, if somebody wants to drop me, send me an email or whatever, I will happily discuss Vanilla Sky with you over a cup of coffee. So
okay. Okay. So what is your clean space exit strategy? What does that look like for you? Say clean space exits, X amount. What does that like to you? What does that look like? How does your life look after that?
One of the things that so there was a movie that came out called Office Space, and he said that he would do nothing. And for me, I've been working in some form or fashion since I was 13. You know, actually even before that, I got a job cleaning my apartment complex's laundry room when I was like 9 or 10. So always been doing some kind of work. And what I want to do is be able to just, and I won't do this for long because I just can't stay busy, but at least for like a week or two, just wake up, go to the massage therapist, the chiropractor, you know,
Yeah.
and but also I want to, there's other things I want to do. My mom has always wanted a porch that, a house with a porch that wraps all the way around it, and a Lexus SC 430. So I'd probably get my mom, get that for my mom.
Yeah.
Make my siblings and children like debt free, and really, I just want to help people reach the ultimate versions of themselves. And so whatever it is that requires them to do that, whether that's, an investment in their dream, whether that's an investment in helping them improve their health, whether that's an investment in like, hey, dude, I need some therapy. Like, yeah, whatever that is, I want to help people reach the ultimate versions of themselves, because I know a lot of people have invested in and believed in me, including you guys.
Yeah. Well, I
Because,
think we're all investing into each other too.
that you see what makes that person them. You see the ultimate potential that person has, and you're like, if this person is as good as I think they are, they'll be unstoppable. And I just want to cultivate that and help people believe that about themselves. So, yeah, it would
I
be
love it.
it'd be a positivity tour. We might call it like the Barnabas Project, just encouraging people.
Yeah.
Part of this project. That's awesome. It's good stuff. Well, all right. Yeah, I mean, I you and I talk a lot about food and beverage and many things. We're I don't know if we're connoisseurs, but we definitely highly appreciate that realm. What's your number one go-to dish? If you could have any type of food prepared and you already know like who it is or what the restaurant is, well, what would that be?
I've got to say some of the best. This is probably the best steak I've ever had in my life. There's a restaurant in San Diego called Pacifica Del Mar.
Okay.
I don't know if they still have it on their menu, but they did it. They had the house cured ribeye.
Nice.
And this thing was absolutely just delicious. And then, you have to forgive me because in my younger days, my ignorance, I ate steaks medium well.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll have to start somewhere.
But it was that good, medium well.
That's
Wow.
pretty good. I'm going to go and say this to my Google real quick. You said Pacifica Del Mar.
Pacifica Del Mar.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and lock that in next time I'm out in California.
Yes.
It's good to know. Good to know.
Pacifica Del Mar. They made a house cured ribeye, but there's also this place. Well, the place doesn't exist anymore, but it was called Ruddle's Smokehouse, and it was in a beach town called Cayucas, California. They had smoked albacore tacos, okay, with this apple slaw that was just part of it, and they didn't serve any drinks, but they were right around the corner from a liquor store, so you could go get a beer, whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
I got a beer that day, and I went and sat and just watched the ocean roll in as I'm eating this taco that was probably sent from heaven because it was that good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those great memories that you're never going to forget.
I feel like everyone gets to experience what I call perfect moments, where you just have this snapshot of life where it's like, I'm glad that my life didn't end before I experienced this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like, it's, of course you have your perfect moments of like, you get married, you have your children and everything, but there are other moments that are just like, it's you and God, man. You guys are just having a moment. We're vibing, we're chilling, and that's what's going on. Like, you made the tuna for this and the apples for this, and you put it all together, and you gave this person the idea for it. So thank you. Let's hang.
That's right. That's awesome. Well, I look forward to visiting Del Mar with you someday and taking a trip to Pacifica and having a good house ribeye. So
Yes.
we'll have to put that on the docket.
Absolutely. That's actually, whenever we have our exit, that's on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take a
Sounds good.
plane ride out to Del Mar.
Yes, and we're flying private.
Love it. Well, Yemi, it has been awesome getting to chat with you a bit here. We are both very thankful to have you as part of the team, and I'm personally very glad to have known you these past several years, and I look forward to many great things to come as we continue an exciting friendship and business partnership. So till then.
Till then, appreciate it,
Till
guys.
next time.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Ciao.